Mhm. Go live. All right, we are now streaming live on YouTube. This is the matter of the preliminary hearing of State of Georgia versus Fred Ball, charged in warrant number 2024 WA 76584 obstruction and 2024 WA 76585 unlawful acts of violence in a penal institution. Representing the state is Attorney Freeman, representing the defendant is Attorney Rogers. Your witness, Attorney Freeman.
Thank you, Your Honor. Deputy Clerk, would you raise your right hand, please?
Yes.
Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to provide in the matter of State of Georgia versus Fred Ball will be the truth and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand. Please tell us your name and how you're employed.
I'm Deputy Clark with the Clayton County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you worked with the Clayton County Sheriff's Office?
For almost a year now. I've been in law enforcement for 5 years.
And where did you work prior to joining the Sheriff's Office?
The Marietta Police Department.
And so were you working with the Clayton County Police Department on May 7th of 2024?
Yes, ma'am.
On that particular day, were you conducting a cell check in Housing Unit 7?
Yes, ma'am.
Was there a particular section that you were doing the cell check?
Yes, I was in Housing Unit 7, Section 3.
What is the purpose of a cell check?
Just to make sure that all inmates are in good condition. There's no gripes or complaints. Inmates are alert, and that the conditions inside the housing unit are proper and up to the well-being for the inmates.
On that particular day, while you were doing a cell check, did you have occasion to come into contact with inmate Fred Ball?
Yes, ma'am.
And please tell us what happened in that encounter.
Yes, I just walked into the section. What I do for a routine. I believe Mr. Ball had just got booked into the Clayton County Jail for some time before he and I met. And when I walked into the section, he began just yelling and trying to make a scene, saying that Super Cop was on the floor. As I was trying to speak to another inmate, Ball would not stop yelling. I went over there and told Ball that he needed to, calm down. And he was acting out. I told him to step outside and sit on the bench near the tower. After that, I determined that the way that Ball was acting, he was not fit to be in that section. That section is usually for our orientation inmates who, are, acting or, have good behavior. I was going to send Ball to the housing unit. So I asked him to stand up, turn around, so place him in handcuffs. He did turn around. I placed one handcuff on him and he jerked away from me and told me that I couldn't tase him or do anything because he had one handcuff. That time I determined that he had a weapon in his hand at that time. I aimed my taser at him and advised him to turn around and that he needed to comply. He decided that he wasn't and still stated that I could not tase him because he had a handcuff on. Once again, that handcuff has sharp ridges on it, which can be used as a weapon, which he had in his hand. At this time, officers arrived. He still did not comply. We went up to Ball, tried to get him in handcuffs. He continued to fight with us. I did tell one of the officers to step away. He has a weapon in his hand. I deployed my taser at Ball. It did not work the first two shots, just probably due to the way that he was sitting down. Ball got up and started to run towards where other inmates were with that weapon in his hand, and then Officer Pearson deployed his taser, and we were able to gain some compliance and get him to handcuffs.
Deputy, let's go back a little bit. When you said when you got one handcuff on inmate Ball, was that one handcuff, was it closed or was it locked?
No, the handcuff it wasn't locked. It was just the handcuff was closed though, because that's how it's set when I pull out my pouch, but he still had possession of the handcuff to where it could have been opened and used as a weapon.
You said that the inmate jerked away. Can you describe what you mean by that?
Yeah, so he was facing away from me. He allowed me to place one handcuff on him. He jerked away and turned towards me, facing me, and stated, "You can't do," with the obscene profanity word, "you can't do anything to me now that I got a handcuff on. So you can't do nothing. You can't tase me. You can't do nothing."
When inmate Ball decided to, I guess, as you called it, jerk away, and would not follow the commands, as a law enforcement officer, did you view that as an act of violence?
Yes. Even after that, with two officers trying to get him in the handcuffs, and he's kicking and punching at us, trying to push us off, that was an act of violence.
Were these acts of violence something that was permitted in the jail?
No, that's not permitted.
Did all of this happen in Clayton County?
Yes, ma'am, inside the Clayton County Jail facility.
Given that Mr. Ball was tased, did he have to get any medical treatment?
Yes, and we took him down for medical treatment. He didn't want me to assist with it. Doctors were down there to get the prongs out. Once he was treated, he stated that he was not hurt and that he was fine. He clenched himself to the fence, and that caused us to have him. That caused him to be aggressive with us, and us having to get him on the ground and gain some compliance that way for him to get away from the fence that he was clenching himself on. This was all while he was still in handcuffs. He put his back to the fence, to a little gate area. I'm sorry, not the fence, but a gate area inside where the inmates are detained to keep away from the nurses. Well, he put himself to his back to that and clenched his hands so we couldn't pull him off the gate.
Was there any video surveillance of this?
Yes, my body camera was on, and most of the deputies and officers that were there, body camera should have been on, as well as the jail facility cameras.
Is that video footage, has it been logged into evidence or preserved?
That I'm not sure of. I'm not aware. I know the facility cameras, they may have bookmarked it, just based off of protocol once the use of force is done.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
All right, Cross.
Thank you. Deputy, so you're the lead on this case?
Yes.
And you completed a report, correct?
Yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to assume, but in your training regarding reports, your training include all the relevant events, correct?
Correct.
So first question, and we'll come back to that. First question. Towards the end there, I think you said that there may be video. So I just want to ask a couple of things about that part. I guess number one, is there any sort of body cam video?
You asked what?
Is there any body cam video? Like, did you personally?
Yeah, that's what I explained. I explained earlier. So we all had our body cameras on, or should have. I know my body camera turned on once my taser was turned on. So body cam footage should be available.
And let me ask, because I just want to make sure I heard you correct. You say you know your body cam turned on once your taser was turned on or used?
Correct.
What about before that?
Before, my body camera was not on beforehand. The escalation escalated very quickly. Now, when he was inside, just arguing with his, being obscene and just yelling, I just made a quick decision, tell him to go step outside. From that point, I didn't think that Ball would sit and fight, jerk away from me. But when he was complying. When I put the handcuff on him, he was just gonna go to another housing unit and be done with it. Ball decided to jerk away from me. That's when the taser came out.
And so just so I'm clear, so for all of that, basically what you're saying is you didn't, even though you had an opportunity to turn the body camera on, you just kind of explaining why you didn't, even though you had an opportunity, correct?
Because I didn't. You said say it again.
I said you were just now explaining why you didn't, but you had an opportunity to turn on the body camera, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so let me ask, were there any witnesses to the incident as far as other inmates, any other staff, anything?
There was staff there. There was inmates there. There's video footage from the facility.
Now, let me ask, because at the end, I thought you said that the facility cameras may have bookmarked it. Are you saying that there is? You're sure that there's camera footage of it?
No. I stated that with protocol, if there's a use of force, they would bookmark the incident for it to be saved.
Okay. When you say they would bookmark it, though, you're not saying you personally would have done it, right?
No, because I don't work in that section to use the cameras.
Do you know if it's been?
The supervisors will make sure all that gets taken care of.
Okay. So as it stands right now, do you know one way or the other whether or not it was bookmarked?
No, I do not know.
Did you take any witness statements?
No, I did not.
And so, if I understand correctly, I guess the reason that you go to make contact with Mr. Boss, because you said he called you super cop, and he's, I guess, talking, being loud. You said.
Correct. When I go in there and do a cell check, everyone's supposed to be on the wall, so I can make sure that everyone is accounted for. Everyone is in a good health. There's no one that's passed out, may have some type of medical emergency, and then just make sure the upkeeping of the section is looking for the best conditions. And as I was speaking with a inmate who had a concern, Ball was yelling, and I could not hear that inmate.
Okay. Well, now let's go back to the report. Have you had a chance to review your report since you prepared it?
Yes.
Do you recall stating that Mr. Ball was on a video call, I believe, with his girlfriend?
He was.
And the way, and I'm just reading this from the report. If you haven't had it, feel free to follow along. But I'm looking at the first paragraph. In the third line, the sentence that starts with inmate Ball. It says inmate Ball was on a video call while he began yelling and appeared to have been showing off for the female he was on the phone with.
Correct.
And then it says at that time, you determined that Ball being on the floor and acting out would not allow to properly check on him. You recall that?
Yes.
And Judge, I just saw a chat pop up that apparently Mr. Ball has something he wants to tell me. If we could, I guess, pause it and I can get in a breakout room with him.
Okay. You can join room 2.
Thank you.
2 minutes. Okay. And then Deputy, you can just simply join.
So I can join?
Yes, room 2. Oh, they already joined. Okay. Attorney Lewis, do you have any updates?
All of them are consent bound. I'm sorry, Judge. All of them are preliminary hearings. Both of the Georgia diagnostic persons.
Okay. Ms. Freeman, did you hear that?